All right. Good evening. It is a lovely July 27th, 2024, and this is Discussions from the Other Hood. I am here with Penelope Flynn, along with the other Blerdsassins next door. We got Cranston, we have Otto, and hopefully a few other people will show up, but I know this was a late notice because up until about an hour ago, I was at the Texas AuthorCon. And now I am back and here and having a lovely time trying to get everything pulled together. So all right, let's do our thing. So today, I don't know how your weather is, Cranston, but you can give us some idea.
Yeah, it has been raining all week. They said scattered thunderstorms, and today it's going to be raining up until about 11 o'clock tonight. And
Wow.
it's been, you don't want to be outside. You're in your own personal heat dome. It's been in the mid 90s all week. Hasn't broken 100 yet so far. And but it's you don't want to be out there while the sun is still up.
Wow. All right. Well, I guess can you beat that, Otto?
Well, let me go check. Look outside. Hold on a second. Okay. Hot and sunny.
All right. It's better than hot and humid and terrible, right?
I
Yeah.
guess. Something.
Yeah. I mean, but it didn't rain today. No, nothing
I would
negative.
like to have some rain.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. Since I've been driving and that stuff, I am not. Oh, and you got a heavy rain tonight. Would that be you? Yeah.
It was actually pretty nice today here. Not too hot, not too steamy and sultry, but the rain, and it didn't rain all weekend so far. It's supposed to start raining and pouring towards next week.
All right. Cool. I mean, well, are you needing the rain?
Not really. The last barrel dumped a whole bunch, and the grass is growing faster and faster every week. But they say it's a little above average here. So I'm not too sure what that means because for me in Florida, this is like summer, spring, but there's no air conditioning in the house, so I'm feeling that part.
Well, I mean, at least you're safe and inside.
Yes, I am.
Safe and inside. All
Yes,
right.
I am. With a working car. My car died last week.
Oh no.
And
Oh
and a
no.
guardian angel sent a mechanic my way and he fixed it for free.
Excellent. Excellent.
Whoa.
So
All
so
right.
I've been a little bit crazy all this week until we could get that fixed.
Excellent. I'm so glad it got fixed. Congratulations. Right. And so Nikki just jumped in. So Nikki, how was your weather?
It's all right. I mean, it was nice and sunny today. No rain at all.
None at all.
None at
Well, that's interesting and strange for Florida, for South Florida this time of year.
Yeah, but it was dry. But it was nice outside. It's like it was in the high 80s, low 90s.
Well, I'm glad at least that you got 80s, 90s, and
Yes,
not rain. Okay,
no
but wait,
rain.
but okay, so but you did have pineapples, right?
Oh, don't even mention that. It was good,
Really?
but it was good though. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was real good.
But not enough of it, right?
Not enough. It was this little short one, but it was real good. But I can't eat pineapple the way I used to. It makes me sick,
Uh,
unfortunately.
okay, but at least you got to have some. Unlike those of us who didn't get to have any pineapple. I mean, I guess we could actually buy it from the store, but it's different from when you're broke.
Yeah. So
So, so everybody has had, I guess it seems, a nice or at least partially uh, pleasant week.
You know what
We,
though, Penelope?
yes.
You know, and this may be a little, I guess, off topic. It is off topic, but some people can be weather conditions, right? You could be sunny
Hmm.
and you could be sultry.
Yes.
You know how you can describe people in that way,
Yes.
but you can't describe people as cloudy or rainy or something. Just a thought.
Well, thank you for bringing that to our attention.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
All right.
I really wanted to hear that tonight.
Yeah, see,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
she's cloud.
Well,
Nikki is cloudy, so
she's cloudy.
No, I'm
Cloudy.
rainy. I'm rainy.
Well, there are people with the name Rain, so
That's
could
me.
be rainy.
Or
So,
Right.
stormy.
or what? Stormy. Yeah, Stormy.
Yeah.
Stormy is a name.
Mhm.
yeah. But it's not an adjective, is it?
Stormy is an adjective.
To someone,
I mean, a dark and stormy night.
to a person,
I mean, what do you mean?
like Nikki is sunny. She has a sunny attitude.
Okay, sunny personality. Okay.
Sure, it's sunny.
But
Or
yeah, but somebody
she
can.
has a sultry
She's
demeanor.
yeah, okay. But also, it could be somebody has a stormy disposition, correct?
Yeah.
Right?
I'm
I
just
guess, yeah. I guess.
I'm just listening to you all.
Why? 'Cause I just go on and on about how people can be
Yeah,
weather. Okay,
I'm
yeah,
just
but
listening.
you can't be.
Oh, okay.
All right.
All
So
right.
now we have a topic that was originally brought to me by Cranston. So Cranston, why don't you clue us in regarding this topic?
Well, I don't know if anybody caught it, but there was he was doing a press tour for a series that he's co-producing. And the reporter started the article off with about 5 paragraphs of Morgan Freeman, discussing how much he dislikes Black History Month. I mean, so much so he really takes it personally. And
Oh,
as I was
brother.
reading that, I was thinking about, at one point he said that just the thought of it makes his teeth itch. I've never
Okay.
heard that before, but I said that must be a really severe annoyance if it makes your teeth itch. And somehow or another, I began to say, but what is it about me that if what could I say if there was something that would annoy me just that much? And it occurred to me that there are things, whether they're characters or storylines or series or creators or whatever, that have just that can generate just that much annoyance.
Aggravation. Okay. All right.
And so that's what got me started on it. And said, well, I can't be the only one. So there has to be something that you see, and you immediately start reaching for the remote, or you want to go to the ticket office and not only get the money back for the ticket, but for the refreshments and gas money, just so you can go home.
All right. Okay. So, does anybody? I mean, when you said you started thinking about it because it's been on your mind for a while. What are the ones that come out to you? Which ones did you think about? Immediately that met
Well,
that particular category.
there are those things that'll make you say, I really shouldn't be watching this when I was having a good time about until this came up. But one of the ones that sticks in my mind immediately that I dislike, and I can't find a way to like it, this particular character at all, but it's from Buck Rogers in the 25th century, and it's Tweaky. Really, it's Tweaky. I mean, really.
Oh man, I have not
Mm.
heard that in ages. Somebody complaining about that little robot.
Oh yeah,
So
it was.
what about it? What about it is so oppositional to you?
everything about it is just one of those things that you cannot find it cute, you cannot find it clever, you cannot find anything positive about it. First of all, it's it's that little beady 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 sound he makes before it comes up.
Yes, yes.
Is there a reason for that?
Well, I think it's so that you know he's a robot, right?
Yeah, like if by looking at him you couldn't quite go in that direction. Uh,
Yes.
then he looks like a robot that is not cute or graceful or clever. Then of course the voice and Mel Blanc has done God knows how many voices and stuff. Although for a brief time in the second season they had somebody else doing the voice, but it doesn't make it any better. It doesn't make it any different. This annoying. I mean, he has to announce it before he's going to say something. You know, it's like that's we're clearing his throat or something like that. Then he tries to speak in 20th century slang that he's picked up from Buck, which makes him sound like a person who really shouldn't be rapping, trying to rap. And then they make him wear whatever his name is around his neck, like he's a bad robotic version of Flavor Flav or something like that. So it's just absolutely just annoying on all levels. I mean, really, you know.
Wow, I did not know that
Oh yeah,
anyone existed who had such enmity for that little robot. Did
yes.
anybody else watch Buck Rogers? I mean, I know we did.
I did.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, and did you all hate? I used to give it Tweaky. Is that his name?
Twiggy.
Twiggy.
Twiggy,
Yeah.
like the model Twig.
Yeah,
Are you sure that's his name?
I think
That's his
so.
name. Yes. Oh, that's his name. Yes.
It's
Tweaky.
Tweaky
Yeah.
or Tweaky or Twiggy.
Twiki. Tweaky.
Tweaky, not Twiggy. It's
Tweaky.
Tweaky. So he is Tweaky, and you do not like Tweaky.
No, not at all. No, no.
All right. Do you think that they tried to be cute by naming him Tweaky?
Who, there's no telling us stuff. It's one thing. If we could stop AI development just to keep Tweaky from coming into existence, it would be worth it.
Yikes.
Yes.
All right. Does
Oh, yeah.
anyone else have any feelings about Tweaky or any other member of the Buck Rogers cast now that we're there?
It didn't need to be there. That's what I mean, I
Yeah.
don't feel the way Cranston as strong as Cranston feels. But you know what? The show didn't need that.
Well, I mean, they need to have the analog of the pet that they always have on
They-
other shows,
Yeah, it was
Well-
for the kids. That's why it was on at 8 o'clock and so kids could watch it too.
But I don't
Yeah.
think kids like that. I mean, I didn't like it. I mean, I didn't hate it, but I sure wasn't watching the show to see that.
Yeah, no kids like that. No.
Well, they did do something. The first season, they did do some things that were right. They did have some people that were real science fiction fans, and they would always have one scene because I guess that's the biggest standing set they had
Mhm.
in the transportation center, and they'll be making these announcements. Like one that I remember when I first paid attention to it, where they were saying that the transport ship Bradbury will be leaving and from Bay 451 in 10 minutes or something like that. And I said, that was kind of
Yeah, I did notice that they would do those shout outs.
yeah. So they would do little things like that. The second series, they were just trying too hard with everything. They had virtually made it, as I think in his book Red Shirts. John Scalzi said that this show was a basic cable knockoff of Star Trek. So they had cloned so much of it, it was ridiculous. Then they had, I forget his name, but the Birdman guy and stuff who became the other foil for the show, and it just got worse and worse. They had Erin Gray trade in her uniform for a mini skirt. and just sitting behind the desk doing nothing and stuff, So it was just got really bad. So
Yeah.
even if you were a kid watching this stuff, you would want to say, "Can we change the channel and see if the news is still on somewhere or something?" It was awful.
I always got the
Okay.
feeling that it was supposed to be like a R2D2 thing or something.
Yeah.
No, not at all and stuff. That
No.
would be whatever the sand people, whoever it was that was selling the droids and stuff, they would just leave it out there in the desert and stuff, for that. So
Yeah, but that's what I thought it was too. Like they're trying to kind of take off on, the old children like, R2D2. So they'll like this thing as well.
no, only if you had no television and this is the first thing or the only thing that you could see. But it's one of those things that any kid watching it is going to say, "No, this sucks." So
Okay. All right. So Cranston has opinions.
yeah.
Does anyone else have any other show? And then since you started with sci-fi, any other sci-fi show that, kind of hit you the wrong way with a character or a plot line or something?
Well,
Well, for
this
me, it
sucked.
was
Go ahead.
Lost in Space. I
Lost in
thought
Space?
Lost in Space, I couldn't stand. Yeah, Dr. Smith got on my nerves after the first season.
Yeah, he was
It's
great the
like
first
the
season,
guy
wasn't
that
he?
played. Yes, I mean he was a spy. He was a bad guy. Then
Yeah.
after the first season, it just made him silly, and it's like, okay, this kind of relates to last week's discussion. How do you solve a problem in the beginning? Like it was Gilligan's Island with the boat. Mine is just throw Dr. Smith in the cryo freeze and stay there until they find him Centauri or wherever. Because
Mhm.
oftentimes he'd get the family in trouble with aliens. So yeah, he just got me
Yeah.
irritating.
In fact, just recently we were watching Lost in Space. What is it? MeTV or what is it that it's on? I do not know because I don't know those types of things.
It was on
But
CBS.
I mean, no, just recently we were watching it, and they did
Oh, it
Lost
might be
in
on
Space.
me TV and that show. Yeah,
MeTV.
yeah,
Yeah. And what they did was they did the Lost in Space and then the black and white versions. Then they
right.
went to the color version. But when they went to the
Yeah,
color version, it didn't seem that it was a continuation. It seemed like it was a complete and total reboot from the very
yeah,
beginning. I'm like, what in the heck?
yeah.
I thought
Because
that was
Guy
awful.
Williams, he was ready to quit by the third season.
Well, I can imagine. I thought the first season was good. Because Dr. Smith,
Yes.
it was his doing his villain thing, and that was great. And then they made
Hmm.
him into like this, whining, insipid, individual, which I don't think
Yeah,
served the show, except that somebody probably complained that, he was hanging around too much with Will Robinson, so they wanted to infantilize him somehow. I don't know. I don't know. But
Well,
yeah,
according to the stories that the two stories was that there was a thing about for actors it's billing. So there's a big thing about where your name comes in the credits,
hmm
and Jonathan Harris did not like wherever they were going to stick his name in the credits. So he came up with the idea instead to just have him build a special guest star every week, even though he was just a regular cast member. So things that make actors happy. The other thing that happened was he said he went to Irwin Allen and said he wasn't sure how he was supposed to play the character because they were going to make some changes later on in the show when they went to color to make things differently. And he said that Allen just told him to just play it as over the top as he wanted, no limits on it. And so that's
wow.
how we got the Oh, the Pain, Dr. Smith, and Blethering Blood, Blithering Mechanical, whatever it is, and stuff, things that
hmm
he came up with. But
Yeah, but I thought also that Jonathan Harris made more than everyone on the show.
He did. He made like $3,000 an episode, and then Guy Williams made like 2,000 along with his wife, and then after that it was Billy Mummy and what's the name Cartwright. They made like $1,500, and Don and what's the name Kirsta, whatever. They made
yeah,
$800, $800 an episode.
yeah, they,
Wow.
So
they get
Smith,
paid out of petty cash.
Yeah, so Jonathan Harris made like $3 grand an episode. He was a top money maker.
Hmm.
Well, so yeah. So you didn't like of the season two Doctor Smith on season 2 and 3. I
I
agree. They
try to
changed the character
survive
so much.
through season two. And
Mhm. I mean, they really
it
changed the
was
character
just,
a lot.
yeah, yeah. And even in the movie, it was like, this guy's a stone cold killer. I mean, he's supposed to be a bad guy, but it's like,
So did you
well,
like
not quite.
that? Did you like the move then from just being um
I didn't care for the
sure.
movie.
Hmm. I mean, when I say care for the movie, it's like
Broke up a
which
little bit.
iteration? Which iteration? Because I think there've been what? There's been a movie. There has been a
Netflix series.
Netflix series. Um,
There was a Netflix. Yeah, I liked the Dr. Smith in that Netflix series.
what is her name? Parker
She was a
Posey.
bit of
Dr.
a
Smith.
Yeah.
coward. Yeah, yeah, yeah. She did an excellent job with Dr. Smith's character. I mean, she was a survivor,
Yeah,
and she
man,
wouldn't
what
like.
she did to get on that
Yeah,
ship.
yeah.
Wow, that was
Threw your
something.
old sister over. It's like, okay.
I mean, that was something.
So yeah, so that was a nice balance. In a way, you felt a little sympathy for her, but not a whole hell of a lot because it wouldn't take much for her to make you flip on her. But it was just at least that character is a little more well developed.
Hmm. Also, I think the thing with the show, the way that the kind of the direction it started going, it's kind of like with Dr. Smith's like the craziness is how do you expect to get anywhere without these people that are running the ship? It's such a magical
Mm.
whatever person is going to come along and snatch you out of the soup, so to say. So I don't know. I just thought the way they did it was kind of weird. But there's another one. Somebody doesn't like
For
Dr.
a
Smith.
brief period, was
Hmm. Anybody else have someone or something science fictiony, horror possible, that they aren't too thrilled with?
I know why he was included. I don't like that he was included, but I can't stand Jar Jar Binks.
Hmm.
I know why he was included. They needed something to sell to the kids. They didn't, considering knowing Lucas's background and his life. I did not like the stereotype that they used for Jar Jar.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't. I think he could have done better. Reeling people in, saying no, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
Not going to
yeah,
work.
yes, he made yes people
So,
around him.
but the problem is again, the people that are around you, if they don't have the experience or knowledge, that could be offensive. You know, he needs
He,
to
but
make
he
it safer.
did. The head of his foundation was Melanie Gibson, Hobson, a black woman, and he
Yeah, but I'm
ended up
saying,
marrying her.
yeah, but she still doesn't work with production company.
But
Remember,
he wrote the script at home. She had to have seen it. They
not
were dating
necessarily,
at the time,
not
so
necessarily, not
Well, maybe she
necessarily.
did. Maybe she did. I remember coming
Oh,
coming down here, coming to Texas, and seeing unedited Warner Brothers cartoons where they have something explodes and all of a sudden they turn into a black person.
Hmm.
So I called the station and
right.
complained, and the station manager said, "Well, Tim is here. He's black. He didn't say anything."
Yeah,
So it's not
Well,
just because somebody's black
maybe
and
he did
they're
his job.
nearby doesn't mean they're gonna.
yeah, right. Because he wants to keep his job. You know.
Yeah, that's Tim. Like may not like it, but like he probably has bills to pay, so that's why he just probably didn't say anything.
Hmm. Especially if he didn't think he had anybody to back him up. He's not
Yeah,
going to
Tim.
say
If Tim
anything.
doesn't say anything, then
I
it's
guess
all good.
another one is well, yeah, it's like when you make kids kind of the central point because
Excuse me.
I'm losing people.
we hear you. I
Yeah.
think Comcast is acting up on for you. Usually text Cranston.
Okay,
It sounds
Ah,
muffled. It sounds
yeah, I'm
muffled.
so muffled. Yeah.
Yeah. But do you think
You
though
know, okay, yeah.
that that absolutely nobody read over the script, or he didn't discuss the character with anybody, and nobody would say, well, you might want to think through that again or something like that?
No, absolutely
I
not.
mean, the thing is, though,
How did you?
you don't know
No,
the
Well, a
dynamic.
lot of his characters were kind of stereotyped when you look at the alien.
Hmm.
yeah. I
I
remember
mean,
the guy. There's a Sinai. I forgot the guy's name. He was on the Daily Show with Jon Stewart. He told Jon
Wyatt
Stewart that.
Cenac.
Yeah, he said John. He told Jon Stewart that one of his characters he sounded, but he was trying to act or talk like Ben Carson or something. It sounded like stereotypical racism to me. And Sinak was fired and thrown off the show.
Hmm.
So it's like, you know, these people say things or they may, you know, give a hint or something or whatever, but that doesn't mean it's going to change. It's like when you have an ego that large, it's like I can do no
Hmm.
wrong.
Yeah, and you say this sounds really inappropriate, and they tell you shut your yap.
Or
What do you know?
tell me what you think, but really don't tell me what you think.
Right,
If you
right,
really tell me what you think, your ass is gone.
right.
Hmm.
And,
But
and
don't you
Well,
think
even in
at
the
some
beginning,
point,
when Star Wars came out, people was like, "They were the black people," which is not
I said, here you
unusual.
go.
I mean, it's just that most science fiction is you're not going to see many people of color. Now you do. Now you're starting to see more. But then it was kind of like when Star Wars came out, things were kind of stark. It was mostly white. He used the themes of Nazism. He borrowed the Asian culture for the Jedi. It was just, I mean, it was a good. I mean, Lucas was good at stealing. And then there was criticism about it. Then we got Lando Calrissian, and then we got, a couple other little token characters. But you know, that's pretty much has been that way of getting better. But we still have a ways to go.
Hmm.
well,
Well,
do
It
you
just
I
depends
think
on
it's
who's
the
doing
case?
the writing.
Well, do you think it's the case of if in the original Star Wars movie there were no black people, then in the second one they had one black person, and then now
Mhm.
that they've done all the tinkering and stuff, they put more people in. So do you think it's that you could be just that insulated, or everybody else that you hang around with thinks like you, that nobody thinks there's anything wrong with that?
well, I mean, I think it could be a situation where
Mhm.
somebody who is, of the caliber like Lucas, or just like Otto was saying about John Stewart, and you go to them and say, hey, this is a little off color. This is appropriate. And they will say to you, I'm sorry, how many multi-million-dollar films have you produced? And you get to say none. And they say, well, go back to your cubby and hope that when you get there, that there isn't like a pink slip. And that's what you get, because people got, again, egos. They got egos, so
Mhm.
they aren't gonna let anybody just tell them anything. And then when the thing comes out and people say, oh my God, this is really racist, you'll say, well, how come nobody told me? You did not
Well, it's sort of like
persuade
Tim Burton.
me
They
on
don't care.
this. Hmm?
Tim Burton's even said, he just never think of black people in his movies. I mean, he's almost practically said that because he
Hmm.
had the criticism too. Why don't you have black people in your movies or whatever? It's like, I just didn't see a need. I mean, at least he was kind of upfront about it. It's one of those things. It's like, yeah, I don't have to,
Yeah,
but
but the issue is this. Yes, you do not have to, but what would have been the difference if you had not sent out your casting call, saying white male, white female, X age,
right.
white this and that. If you just put out the casting call, young
Hmm.
male actor, age 18 to 25, or
Hmm.
can play 18 to 25, will need to have some physical scenes, uh, martial arts, probably a plus. Why can't you just do that? You know, I mean, instead of, I mean, because they're putting what the ethnicity is, on these roles. So he didn't have to. He could have just left it open and just gone for whoever it was that showed up that did it best. But they don't do that.
Yeah.
So I think that's why you end up getting some of these casting decisions. In fact, I think, what is the name of the show? Saved by the Bell. The little girl who played the role, what is her name? Lark Voorhees, the little, rich, girl role, the little, I guess we'd call it it girl role, that she said she went in and mom took her to audition for that role. There were no other black girls that auditioned for that role because the role called for a white girl.
Mm-hmm.
And her mom took her to audition for it anyway. And I think probably because she stood out so much from all the other girls that came to interview to audition for it, that she got the role. And I think, some people would just go in and try their luck, and she just happened to be one that it worked for. But other people will look and they say, well, they're not looking for me, somebody that looks like me. So they don't even bother to go at all. So, I know we're getting far afield on the issue, dealing with Jar Jar. But yeah, I think that it can happen. Does anybody else have a particular show character trope that they take issue with?
It's not sci-fi though.
Okay, go on, since we're obviously stagnating here.
Well, I love, as you know, Penelope, I love the show Dexter.
Yes.
I watched it multiple times.
The whole thing from beginning to end.
The whole
Yes,
thing. I like shows that deal with like these serial killer kind of things because it's demented. It's like looking into the demented mind of someone.
Yeah, work that out. Your catharsis, man.
Yeah,
Work it
gotta
out.
get it out somewhere.
Work it out.
But what I don't like, what I can't stand, as you said, with a purple passion, I have no idea why passion is purple.
But it is.
But the black cop on Dexter, I can't. Oh my god!
Oh
Will
yeah!
you please
Oh
shut
my
the
God!
F up?
I hated that guy. Oh man, it's like, why? I mean, this is like, what is this called? What is this casting call for angry black man? Okay,
Oh my
bully.
god! Would you shut up?
And the thing to me is that this guy was such a bully. I don't understand why nobody else, looked at him and said, hey, you need to back down.
There's a bunch of memes on that guy. It's like, excuse me if I'm I'm going to curse, so excuse my language, but it's like there's memes that there's these memes of him saying, "Surprise, motherfucker!"
Yeah.
Surprise,
So it's
hamburger fries,
a
motherfucker.
knockoff Samuel Jackson, huh?
I mean, he's just really very.
Picking on my favorite actor.
Yeah, but he got a really bad role. I mean, that role was really very irritating.
And I was happy, and I hate to say this to a brother, I'm just but I was happy when his character was killed off.
Yeah.
It's like, thank God.
God, no more, please, no more. But it's unfortunate. You have a good actor who has this bad role that lasts for a long time.
It got to be the director, right?
Yeah, and I wonder. Yeah, I would think so, and I would wonder whether or not he can shake off, the stigma of that type of role that makes you look like you're a bad actor. But
he's shake off the stigma, but people still really associate him with that role.
Yeah,
because he went on. He did a Clint Eastwood movie after that.
Well, in the series, did it ever explain why he behaved that way? Like, did he have a troubled past or something like that? Or
nope.
Okay.
Nope. Just yeah, that was a terrible.
I know you up to something.
But why? And why do you care?
I know you up to something.
Why? And listen, why? And why do you care? So what? I mean, he's going. I don't know. What could it be that he is doing that causes you so much, issues? except the one scene. I mean, this guy. I mean, I didn't like the fact that they created this character, a black man, and had him be like physically violent to somebody, and is a cop, and he's physically violent to a coworker, you know, and he did this. That they were out somewhere at some shipping yard, and he put hands on Dexter, and Dexter pushed back, and he was so shocked because he did not expect that Dexter could fight and or kill. So he's like just so shocked. It's like, but if you keep your hands off people, you will never find out that information because that's need to know information, and you don't need to know unless you put your hands on people inappropriately.
Well,
Yeah,
do you
so that
think that they
character,
created
I
this
hate.
character to make Dexter more sympathetic? Say, do you think I'm bad and I'm a serial killer, but look at this guy? So
I don't know, maybe, but
It was just
still, it was so over the top.
to me, it was just an irritant. It was
Yeah,
absolute irritant. I hate seeing him in a scene. He always had the same expression on his face.
scowling.
And then later on, they try to make him a romantic interest of the of one of the other characters
It came out of nowhere.
out of nowhere.
Nowhere. I mean, it's just so awful. So awful. Yeah, I'm with you on that. That was what a mess. What a
And
mess.
can I get in one more though, Penelope? Too?
Please.
The Super Friends. I love the Super Friends. I was a kid,
Uh
but that goddamn it, those two kids.
huh. The Wonder Twins.
Yeah, not one of the twins and the other one, the Super Marvin or whatever the hell his name was.
Oh, Wendy and Marvin.
Yeah, yeah. What the
Yeah,
hell?
Wendy and Marvin. Yeah.
Yeah, get the hell off the show.
Okay. Oh, okay. I thought you were talking the Wonder Twins. I was like, what the heck?
Well,
Well,
that's the thing.
Huh?
No, Wonder Twins were okay. It's just I think they try to make up for Wendy and Marvin.
yeah,
I just
yeah.
think
I mean, the
the
Wonder
Wonder
Twins are.
Twins were trying to make up for Wendy and Marvin.
Yeah, they weren't the
Well,
Wonder Twins
But
on top of my list either.
yeah,
But I could deal with them.
yeah,
I could deal
right,
with them
right.
more than Wendy and Marvin. God damn it.
That was pretty
well,
bad.
that was the thing about kids. Yeah, the thing about kids like Muppet Babies, Flintstone Kids, that was a thing at the time. And it's
Uh,
like, well, who's your audience? It isn't to young kids because they weren't watching it.
no, they were
So,
not. Nobody watched that. It was terrible. All those
and
shows were
then
awful.
and then in Star Trek, Wesley Crusher got on my nerves the first year. It's like,
But
okay, this kid's like it. They made him an acting answer. Look, there are people who went to the academy, earned their spot. They need to be on the bridge, not him when there's an emergency situation. He always figures out some way to get them out of the jam. And it's like, no, I don't need that character.
well, you know what that was. I mean, we all know what that is. That wishful, what do you call it? Wish fulfillment for a certain nerd culture people. That's
Actually,
all.
it was Roddenberry's wish fulfillment because Wesley was him.
yeah,
Well, again,
Roddenberry's middle name is Wesley.
well, again,
Again,
again.
and it was a mess. Because the
Eugene
way
Wesley Roddenberry, yeah.
the way the shows were edited, all the Wesley saving the ship episode came out at once. That was not the intended release. So it was a double barrel that you can't say no to the boss, and well, we only have the show and we need to get it to the syndication folks quick.
Well, they should have slowed it down.
Well,
That's it.
it was
I think
garbage.
yeah,
It
because
was
and it
garbage.
really hurt. I think it hurt the actor in the long run
Yes.
to put that type of role on him, and I think people don't think through things like that.
What they
Very
call
well.
it, Penelope? Like people like that. I think they use it in like basketball or something and, as well. The actor has a punchable face.
You know what?
Punchable
I
face.
thought.
In genre, it's called a Mary Sue. Everybody loves him and everybody wants to take care of him.
No, but I think that character. I mean, I think it hurt
No.
him as an individual, hurt him as an actor.
Want to punch him
I
in the
mean,
face.
but I'm going to tell you, I thought when they brought him to, was it Eureka? I thought he did a great job.
Oh yeah, being an asshole. Yeah, that was a good role for him. And
Yeah,
his Wesley character is finding some redemption now in Prodigy, now that he's a traveler. So I think it's slowly redeeming Wesley's character.
hmm I just shed that to some degree and grow it up, but it's very hard, I think, for him as an individual. And I think when people don't think, they think about the show, but don't think about the people who are carrying these roles on their backs
Mhm.
even after they leave the show. And just like they say, you got to get therapy and stuff for some of these villainous roles that are off kilter. I think somebody's got to get therapy for roles like that too to help you
Well,
Yeah,
disengage.
yeah.
well, you think about
'Cause a lot,
on Buffy the Vampire Slayer,
Hmm
the character, or was it Angel? No, it was Angel's son or something, or
Oh yeah,
that talk about punchable faces. I forgot his name. What was his name?
Vincent Kartheiser.
Yeah, God
The
damn,
actor,
I want
yeah.
to punch that dude. He was horrible,
Yeah, and I
but
want
then
to
he got,
tell you,
but then he
yeah, go
came
ahead.
out on the other end. He came out
Yeah,
on the other
he
end as Pete
survived.
Campbell on
Yeah,
Mad Men,
yeah, did an
and he
excellent
was,
job.
yeah.
But it took a while for him to get the stink of that role off him. But I mean, he did an excellent job in Mad Men. Absolutely. I said, oh my God, Vincent Kartheiser got a new job. And it's like, yeah, good for him. Good for him. And I have to say, we
yeah.
talk about the thing, a general I dislike thing, although I watched it every week all the time. Anything Sid and Marty Croft.
Sid
Captain
Monocross, oh,
Sid
I
and
love those.
Marty Croft. Oh no. I mean, I watched them, but it's like I'm cransing on this thing. I hate watching it. I'm singing the Sea Monster,
Hey,
Lidsville, HR Puffin Stuff.
no,
Uh,
not HR.
what is the other
No,
one?
electric.
What's it?
Hey,
Electra
yeah,
Woman
electric
and
woman and
Guy
guy to do.
Girl. Yeah.
Hey,
See, I know them all.
Well, see, those were shows that had a
that was my
certain
show.
appeal if you were watching them under the influence of something.
Yeah, must be. Must be. What's with the Bugaloos? Remember those too?
Yeah.
Oh
All
yeah,
of
some of
that.
those were kind of yeah.
With Sid and Marty
Yeah, you
Krofft.
had taken on
Lidsville.
something.
Sid and Marty Krofft destroyed Saturday morning cartoons.
But you know what though?
Absolutely destroyed it.
Oh,
You
they were
had to, as
legends.
a kid,
Mm-mm-mm.
you had to squat in front of the television and watch that garbage.
That's right.
Otherwise the television be commandeered by adults or something,
That's
right?
right. So you
So
have to
you had to
sit
watch that
there
garbage. You had to
and
pretend,
pretend
oh,
that you.
I'm
That's
watching my
right.
show.
I watch to see with the sea monster. So they don't, because
Yeah,
once
that.
the parents get control of the television, you're done for.
And then your
Yep.
parents got to look at you and say, I can't believe my child's watching this shit. This is
Yeah, but you know
garbage.
what?
Oh,
But they won't turn the channel. They'll let you watch it. But that
Captain.
means if you want to watch any of the good stuff, you're gonna have to maintain
they won't
control of the
listen.
television.
They won't even
Cinema
stay in the
Croft.
room. They won't even stay in the room.
Exactly, exactly. But you gotta command.
As long as you were quiet, watching TV, that was good.
Yeah, yeah. That's right. I mean, I would put up with the City Marty Croft stuff in order to get to the other side, of the afternoon. Now, again, the other one that I did not like, same kind of thing, was remember the monkey shows?
You mean
Nobody
Oh
Lance
God, the monkeys.
the
Lance
musician?
Which one?
Link, Lance Link, Secret Chimp. Y'all remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that one. I saw a couple of that, and it's like, why? What? No. And talking animals became a thing.
Yes, yes.
And what was it? There was one that was halfway decent. It was the Secret Life of Waldo Kitty, which was a
I like I
takeoff on
am
Walter
Walter
Mitty.
Kitty, weekend
Yes, yes.
cowardly. Yeah, yes, I watched that show.
It was, so I
Who the
kind of
hell was
liked
that
the
made
minority.
for?
I don't know because if you knew who Walter Mitty was, you probably were not a child, and or you were like a teenager had to read it, when you were in high school. So I don't think
No,
any little
I,
children knew.
I saw it as a kid. I saw Danny Kaye. I saw that movie when I was like
Yes,
7 or 8 years
yeah,
old.
yeah.
So it's
But
like
this,
that was the thing. I mean, kind of, it was the thing. Like Run, Go, Run with this German Shepherd army was trying to hunt down for accidentally hurting his trainer or something. It was a weird show.
Yeah,
But
Well,
yeah, that was
it
Run
was a
Joe
clear
Run, and
the
there was
it
another
was a
one. Muggsy, what's her name? Moon Pride. Yeah, go ahead.
I have like no real memory of character. I just remember generally theme songs, stuff like that, of shows that we
if you want
watched.
to if you want to clear the room, it's called a clear the room show.
Yeah, but I could say
Yeah,
some of those shows.
yeah.
I'm trying to think if
Uh,
there's any that I watched the show, but a particular character or theme I didn't like. Uh, because I
Okay.
gotta say, all of I gotta say, when I was a young girl, I did not like the Bugaloos because I did not like their accent. I did not. I mean, I could deal with Jack Wart's accent and HR Puff and stuff,
So
but the
wait a
Bugaloos, I
minute.
could not do
Hold
their
up.
accents.
So if they didn't have a British accent, you would have liked the show.
No, I would have hated the show, but I could not stand their accents, so I could not watch the show. Oh! I know. Also, the female lead in the Bugaloos, how they always made these young women, girls, whatever, on these shows seem so insipid. I mean, they don't have any ability but to step around and supposedly be sweet and cute and fairy like, kind of things.
Who's that for though?
I hated that
Who
so
who who who
much.
whose psyche were they trying to influence? Because it
well,
had no effect on mine. I just
that
you
was
know
like that was the idea of a lot of white writers, male writers especially. So they kind of patronize or reject their ideas of how females should act. So that's how I saw that.
Yeah, just awful. Just awful. Any of those roles like that were just, ugh. I mean, it just made television so difficult for, I think, most girls to watch. It's like, you got to be kidding me,
that
you
crap was
know?
hard for me to watch.
Yeah, I mean, just awful, just awful.
I want to set my TV on fire, man. I couldn't watch that. I mean, why is it? What is the proliferation of our Saturday morning cartoons? It's like, ah man, after a hard week of school, I get my big bowl of Captain Crunch, and I
Mhm.
sit down in front of Saturday morning cartoon. What the Athens? What the?
Yeah. So I mean, some of these things were really bad, and some of
Well,
them. I was stuck on the Saturday morning cartoons. I know because I get that big block of Sid and Marty Croft. But I know there's stuff in our regular. I have one, and we can move along from it. But it's regular television, and mine is generally Columbo. Oh my
really?
God,
What's
Colombo?
wrong with Columbo?
Ah, what's
hate
wrong combo? Yeah, come on.
I hate Columbo. I
Now,
hate
why are you the
Columbo.
only person on the planet who does not like Colombo?
Number one, because he is a jerk. He steps into people. I mean, I'm sorry, regardless of whether or not they're a villain or not. I didn't ask you to come in. I didn't ask you to talk. You're doing all this. Please leave now. But also, the thing I
Oh, that's
hate
a cat.
about Columbo, hate about Columbo is okay. We watch the entire show. We get to the ending of the show, and now we're gonna do the big unmasking, the big reveal of who the villain is, how and why, and how he figures it out. And the way he figures these things out is never anything that they showed you in the show. I mean, it's like, what?
But wait a
What
minute,
in
isn't
the
it
show is
Columbo?
that?
Didn't in Columbo they show you who did it in the beginning of the show?
But I'm saying he is like trying to show how he figured it out. And it's like,
Yeah.
no way that he could figure these things out the way that he says he did. And also, it's like if the person was smart enough to do the things that they did to commit the crime, then they certainly would never have left the loophole that you stepped through. So come on, don't. I remember one that really bugged me, where the guy poisoned someone by sticking a needle, a syringe, and poisoning their wine, right? With the
Classic,
right
classic,
was
classic.
Oh
okay.
yeah.
All right, all
Okay.
right. So
Hmm.
two things. Number now, one part of it I thought made sense, where Columbo is like, well, look, that you have this 1-star wine here, but you never drink 1-star wines. You only drink 3-star wines. So we know that you poison them because you would never like put the poison in your 3-star wine. So that's why you bought a bottle of this 1-star wine to poison, because you could not stand, adulterating your 3-star wine. Okay, I thought that was good, and say, okay, he's got some what do you call it, character nuances there that he knew. But and see here, these bottle of this wine that was poisoned, right?
Mm-hmm.
There is a needle hole in the cork.
You can't see that.
Now, number one, you can't see it. Number two, if you could see it with your one eye, I'm pretty certain that the person who put it in there could see it with their two. Okay? So I'm like, and come on, I can afford 3-star wines. I can afford 1-star wines. So you're gonna tell me if I didn't see this, I see a hole in the cork, I'm just not gonna change it for another bottle of 1-star wine that doesn't have a thing in the cork, a hole in the cork. Come on. And then there was another one where they go through all this stuff. Oh, this person did this, that, blah, blah. It's like a Dabney Coleman thing. And he's like, oh, I have an alibi. I was driving in certain place. And so, well, where were you driving? Let's see. Oh, well, there is a CCTV that shows you were driving down that street at that time. But wait, look at the people who are driving before you down that street after you. See how the shadow hits those people on there because the sun was hitting them? Well, it's not hitting you the same way because see, that person is not if it's wearing a mask. So it's not you, it's somebody just wearing a mask. And so that's how I know that this was not you, that there's someone wearing gloves and a mask of you. And so, okay, as a kid, I'm watching this. But then I thought about it as I got older. I said, wait a minute. So why is it any different how the sun hits the mask than how the sun hits a person's face?
It's a different time of day or something.
It was ridiculous. So it's like everything Columbo does is ridiculous.
But
Uh,
but the thing about
That
Colombo
charm,
is
he was irritating.
it was a class difference because invariably the people he was after were always people who were higher position or richer or
okay,
smarter than him.
all right,
And then
Cranston.
you have this one guy who's just stumbling around.
Cranston, this is where
Mm-hmm.
we stop. This is where we stop. So
Uh-huh.
to understand, Cranston, that when I saw the film The Verdict, I did not want to be Paul Newman. Okay? I wanted to be there working for the Prince of Darkness in
Mm-hmm.
the big firm with all the resources. So no, you're not gonna no, I'm not following that.
So that's not it. So no.
Now. No. No, but more than anything though, it's just that he comes to the conclusion with things that nobody else would know, recognize, see, and they don't show it to us so that we can be in on the joke. That's why I don't like it. It's the same reason why I stopped liking Monk, because Monk was so good. I mean, what an excellent show. Because he didn't know who did what, but he would search for the clues and he would find the answer. And then after Sharona left, then they had this other woman come in. They must have just different writers or something. Because then he would always say, I know you did it, and I'm going to prove what. No, the old monk would never say that. Because I can't know that you did it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have to prove that you did it. I can't know you did it and prove why. What is that? That's what inductive reasoning. You know, that go from the general to you're supposed to go from the general to specific, not from the specific to the general. You're supposed to get all the evidence, marshal it, then find out. Not to say you are the person that did it, therefore I'm going to basically ignore all other evidence that points elsewhere. So that's why it is incorrect and why I could no longer watch Monk. but it used to be such a fantastic show. Anybody else?
Okay, I had one that from the first time I saw it, I did like it, and then it got worse with progressive watching. If you watch it, say, well, maybe I was in a bad mood the day I saw it the first time, so I'm going to watch it again now that I'm in a much better headspace. He said, no, it's still just as bad, and that's in the second RoboCop movie, where they had the actor who was playing the mayor of Detroit. And his performance, well, this was a movie that had a lot of problems with the bad guys being one bad guy is a drug addict. The other one is a middle school age drug dealer who has an adult, not exactly girlfriend, but I guess babysitter or something like that. But
middle school, you said? Middle school?
yes, middle school age. Yeah.
I do not remember this film.
Yeah. He was a kid. He was a kid, and he was a drug lord. He was a drug lord or something.
Yeah.
And the thing that's really crazy about it, the script was written by Frank Miller, who was the guy who was responsible for reviving Batman in the after the series went off the air. Although he's had some really strange things he's done since then. But he also admitted, but I also had substance abuse problems then too, so maybe that explained it. But they had this guy playing the mayor who was also ineffective because between the drug dealers and OCP, he had no real power. And they had him doing everything except showing up in blackface. And he was just that, just totally bad. It was one of those things where it must have been said, okay, your agent told you this is the only job we can get for you right now, and you took it. But it was absolutely just like an awful portrayal.
Yeah.
It was a conservative's wet dream, right? Ineffective black mayor of an urban city.
There you go.
And the makeup is like, that typical black that makeup where your face is always shiny. And you look like you're sweating
all the time.
Yeah. Like all of a sudden they don't have a makeup person.
Yeah, but not for you at least.
Or they spraying your face with oil.
Or like that guy who always was on Hill Street Blues, and he was also in Soldier Story at the end. He was one of the MPs. That guy, man.
Yeah, get the oil.
Every time we saw that guy, he looked like he was sprayed down with oil and getting ready to do something that he was scared about. I mean, he's just typecast for that now. Wow. But I think that
Well, I like the second RoboCop. It was racist garbage, but I liked it.
Okay.
Well, it traded on the goodwill, whatever goodwill you can't carry over from the first one.
Yeah.
But it had too many problems going on along the way, and the kid got killed and stuff along the way. So,
wow.
You know what character I hated? Like the George Reeves Superman series.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the beginning, Jimmy Olsen and Lois Lane, Phyllis, what's her name? Thaxter? Phyllis Thaxter? She was great, Lois Lane. But then later seasons, Jimmy Olsen, god damn, he was insufferable. Absolutely hated him.
Really? Oh wait, I thought the Lois Lane was awful.
Well, one of the things that annoyed me,
the second one.
The second one, yeah. I mean, she was where the first Lois Lane was like, tough chick, Lois Lane, going toe to toe, trying to get those scoops, and the second one was just, really, just like the female character. I mean, she could have been a receptionist. They just really.
The first Lois Lane was like the Lois Lane in the Fleischer cartoons, like, she'll pick up a submachine gun and pat at that,
Yeah.
But the second Lois Lane in the George Reeves series was looked like she was always trying to hook up with Superman. It's like, come
Yeah,
on.
it's like,
Oh yeah,
okay, we don't
yeah, it
need
was bad
that.
in the comics. Yeah, in the comics when Lois Lane had her comic series, it was always like, yeah, she was a reporter, but she was trying to scheme a way to somehow marry Superman. It's like, wow. But
Yeah.
yeah. But another thing, well, in the Superman movies, that was kind of annoying. First one, okay, but they were playing up the Christ imagery of Superman a lot in the second film, Superman Returns, and then Man of Steel. It's like, okay, we get the story. L, Jewish title for God. I mean, it got to be kind of annoying. Every time he flies up in the sky to the sun, he spreads his arm up in like a crucifix position. It's like, can we knock this off? We get it. Quit
Uh,
beating us over the head with that.
well, it's kind of weird
It's
because
supposed to
it's,
be leading by
it's like,
example.
what do you call it? It's
Something
just kind of like
bad needs to be done. Stop it already.
it evolved to that because, of course, Superman was written by, two Jewish guys. So I think that that's something that, the industry evolved it to less than what it was when it originally was done.
They've gotten better with it. But it's just that I saw in the first Spider-Man movie, with Spider-Man that was basically slowing down as the runaway subway car. He took the web and he's stretching out to his limits, and then he's unconscious, and then the passengers bring him on board again. It's that Christ imagery, just yeah. It's just like let's just stop this, okay? We get it, we get it, and I think they finally kind of stopped it. So it was just a little too obvious for my taste. It's like
Hmm.
we get it.
Yeah.
White saviors, we got it. Oh, but and there was another one. Oh, they gotten better too, but they were very bad. Like Otto brought up with Frank Miller, Dark and Gritty. Oh my God, that took over the comic industry for like forever. It seems. It seems like Batman became a victor after a while. It's just okay. You're dark. We get it. You're broody. We got it. But can we see what you do in the daytime as Bruce Wayne? Because
Yeah.
that would not fly in the business world.
That'd be
They'd have
interesting,
took over his company so damn fast.
but it'd be interesting to have shown that in that context.
Yeah.
What was he like as Bruce Wayne? Was he able to make the jump?
Well, you broke up.
You
What?
know, I think that would be an interesting, um, I guess, I don't know, a comic book or I don't film, but I think a comic book would be better to see, how he's making this shift between Bruce Wayne and this very dark, gritty Batman with
Right.
this
Well, what they would do,
swing all the way in the opposite direction.
well, what they did was, it's the combination of different writers taking their take on the character and then trying to keep it still the same. But they got into this thing where they looked for, well, what was his motivation?
Hmm.
And the thing that they went with, and they still talk about it today, is that the is that Batman is the real person, and Bruce Wayne is simply the accessory.
Hmm.
Right. And they didn't really do enough with that.
Yeah,
And it's, I mean, Bruce Wayne should have had therapy a long time ago. But it's, when I look at the industry, I blame the editors. It's like, hold it. I know writers may have different interpretations, but as your job as an editor, let's keep the continuity kind of steady.
Hmm.
And it seems to just kind of let the writers kind of go off. And it's like, no, 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 no. This is why some of y'all have problems with writings and character, continuity, even in art. Someone like the way they draw Batman, it's like he looks like a 400-pound linebacker. And it's like
mhm.
you can't tell him and Bruce Wayne are the same people just by looking at their muscular structure.
Yeah,
Just
which is why I think they maybe had such a trouble with that version because how is it that you transfer this hulking individual into the guy who's in the boardroom? I mean, is he always
yeah,
remote or something? I don't know.
yeah. I mean,
He's on
still,
Zoom
you're
all the
running
time.
a multi-billion. Yeah, Zoo. Well, if you're running a multi-billion-dollar corporation, you're just not. taking off for a few days to come back. Your board of directors, they're kind of like, all right, what's going on? What are we doing? And, it's a very disciplined position. So how he pulls it off on the daytime, I like to see more of that because normally in today's corporate world, takeovers are kind of a thing. It's just okay, Bruce, we're firing you CEO. We don't have time for you being jet setting all over the place when we got business here to take care of. Yeah, you got Lucius Fox, but he's a scientist. He is not a CEO. They kind of touched on that in the first Batman movie, which I'm kind of
Hmm.
glad they did. But it's just, yeah, there's certain realities, even as the Bruce Wayne character, that really they did not, they really need to address a little more. So it's that, and yeah,
Yep.
there's like for comics in general, there are some. It depends on who the editor is. It's like editors need to keep their writers in line because they kind of let them go off and do their thing, and it's just if you're going to keep continuity, at least keep it this way for at least a few years before you go to
Yeah.
another crisis type storyline.
Yeah.
You know, and they pretty much just overused their crisis Infinite Earth storyline too much. The recent animated one, I haven't seen it yet, but I haven't heard any good things about it. It's
Really.
just that, oh, really, it's kind of like, okay, MCU's got their Infinite Earth thing. They got that down. Crisis, when it first started in the comics, it was great. They were doing housekeeping. It was a well received line. And then somewhere along the line, if you do this like once every decade, okay, do a little housekeeping, get everything straightened out.
Hmm.
But it got to be they every few years they started something new. There was Zero Hour. And then they gave it a different name. It's kind of like, stop already. Stop. We don't need this.
Yeah. Well, you know
And
what it is that everybody trying to put their imprint on it. A
that's what
new,
I'm saying.
individual comes in and they want to put their imprint on it, and they'll be known forever. They don't want to come in and continue, the vision that someone else had.
Well, I mean, well, they had Elseworld, which was kind of like an alternate type of history storyline comic, which were very good stories outside of continuity. But I guess in a certain way, for a character for me to really appreciate more development, I understand the business end of marketing and toys. But if Batman had just stayed a paraplegic, or if Barbara Gordon stayed in a wheelchair, I like that more because okay, here's a character who's used to being in physical action. Now, what do they do?
Hmm.
Dick Grayson took the role of Batman, and he was very uncomfortable because of the legacy behind the character.
Hmm.
And then Bruce Wayne has a son that he didn't know about, and so now he's got to work with his son. It's just, I like that. That's good. And they turn around, and somehow Bruce Wayne, he can walk again, and Barbara Gordon, who was Oracle, she was just like the cyber intel for all the heroes. I love what they did with the character, but she's back to being Batgirl again because of some miracle surgery. And it's like, you know, all our heroes don't have to be ableists. Daredevil is blind. Daredevil is blind. Echo is deaf. I mean, it's just, you can do great things with these characters. So it's
Yeah.
just, like I say, I look more at the editor. It's like, okay, you're a new writer. What's your pitch? Okay, I like part of it, but we're not doing this, the other part, not for a good while yet. So work with what
Mm.
we got now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then when the time comes up, then we can look at taking your character to the next step.
Yeah. But everybody's got their own idea, and a lot of it, I think, is just about trying to distinguish themselves from what the other guy did. You know, making
I
their
mean, I
own
get that.
name.
I mean, that's why you have Elseworlds, these other imprints to work with.
Mhm.
Or if you have this idea, create a new character.
Yeah,
So
agreed. Create a new character. And a lot of people. I mean, right now, in fact, all the time that we see, the reboots of all these major characters, it's just like, why can't you just do a new character? I know you've got rights to these, but it would be very nice to do something different. But a lot of them they just want to make the money. Can't get
Well,
basically,
enough.
that's why I kind of hate on Marvel because I could never tell what the X-Men were doing. I was just so confused with the comics. I gave up. And I just stuck with Miles
Oh,
Morales.
Oh,
I
I like
love
the
the
X.
I love the animated series. It's the
Yeah,
comics.
yeah.
It's like, what are you guys are doing? So I'm just waiting until they do another restart because a writer I really like, Gail
All
Simone,
right.
she's writing American, so I'm gonna follow her and see what she does.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many mutants, I don't know what the hell who these mutants are now. So like, okay, whatever.
Well, guys, well, it's about that
Well,
time, and
one more,
yeah, yeah,
Penelope.
yeah.
One
Go
more.
ahead. What?
The final one. I know you're not gonna like it, but this is a hate for me. It's Muttley.
Muttley.
Oh, no,
Why do
not
you not
really.
like Muttley? What did Muttley ever do to you?
A little bit of Muttley goes a long way. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, well, okay, but he just laughs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, but a whole lot of Muttley.
Well,
Like
you
a
know what?
whole
You're right.
show.
Okay, I'm gonna agree with you in the sense that at first Muttley was, a sidekick to Dick
A little
Dasher.
bit, a little bit,
Right.
like a little bit of paprika, a
Yeah.
little bit of pepper. You would get a whole jar of pepper or paprika and throw it down your throat.
Yeah. Yeah. We
Well, let's put
I
Scrappy Doo in
agree.
that category too.
Oh hell
Oh.
yeah, yeah, Scrappy.
Scrappy
I like
Doo.
that.
Was that needed?
Yeah.
Was that necessary?
Yes, it
No, but
was.
there was that kid angle again, that junior. Yeah, all that was the thing at the time.
Yes, we would say that the kid thing all the time, a kid version of stuff, so that thing.
And
Well,
that's
I
that's
wasn't
why I
going to
love Johnny.
mention.
I said that's why I love Johnny Quest because they had a dog and the dog didn't talk or do
Nope,
anything
he was just a
human.
dog,
It was just a effing
just a
dog.
little
Just,
dog.
just noisy. That's all. But that's okay. He was a dog.
It's just a dog, doing dog things, which in several episodes were important things.
Yeah.
Acting like a
Yeah.
dog. I agree. And oh, and by the way, now that we're on it, this is the last thing, but you brought up Bandit. I hate pets. Whenever they have a show and they shoehorn a pet into it, I am going to hate that. I hate them
Oh,
so much. When people
you like
feel,
Crypto the Super Dog?
and no, I don't like
No.
Crypto the Super Dog. I don't like they try to shoehorn these pet or pet-like creatures. For instance, in He-Man, what's that thing's name that they try to that walk flies around all the time? Can't stand it. It's like that to me is like
I
a
mean,
pet.
Orko? You don't like Orko?
No, I do not. I don't even like the Great Gazoo from the Flintstones. I like none
No,
of those.
Flintstone?
None of it. It's like, you know
No,
what? This is bad writing. Please stop now.
yeah, Gazoo was annoying. Yeah, he was not good.
I just
Also,
why do we didn't have it before?
It's
Why do we
Harvey
have to have
Korman.
it now?
It's Harvey Korman. Come on.
He didn't write it.
But you know what? Also, if you're talking about Gazoo, you gotta say Pebbles and Bam Bam. What the hell? Get out of here.
Yeah, they really did not need Pebbles and Bam Bam.
Now, if the Flintstones were a takeoff on the Honeymooners, Alice and Ralph did not have kids.
No. And I think the thing's funny when you watch shows like that, like the Flintstones have the Pebbles and Bam Bam, that it really goes against the grain because most people don't have children. People think that, oh, everybody has children. No, most people don't have children. More people don't have children than have children.
what's that you say,
Oh,
Mr. Vance?
yeah,
Ah,
according to JD
Yeah.
Vance, it's like you're a second
Yeah,
tier
childish
you're a
cat
second
people.
tier citizen.
Oh,
wow.
what blowback he got from that. And he got massive blowback. Keep pissing women off. That's all I say. Please do. Make it easy for Kevin to walk on in.
Well, I mean, what a moron. It's like, wow, what are you
Be true to
talking about?
yourself.
And look, it said God gave you those genitalia for a reason. Not to be walking around just showing. Put them
That's
to
it.
use.
There's your
Yeah.
commander from Head and Wife, Handmaid's Tale. There's the commander right
Oh,
there.
no. I said, wow. I mean, certain things are your opinions which should be kept to
Yeah.
yourself. You know, that
Or if you're
certain
trying to
things.
feed the meat to your base, you're going to go whole hog.
I mean, wow, some
You
things can
Christian
should be
nationalist,
kept
please.
to yourself. All right, well, unless Sonia want to add something, Branson, Gary.
Nope, you pretty much got some of my favorite characters on the chopping block. I'll be quiet.
Okay.
I should say some of my favorite actors. Yeah.
Oh, come on. We said it was not him. This is the terrible role.
Terrible writing.
Yeah, of the
They,
terrible
they,
role.
I still love Columbo. I don't care what anything else say.
Well, y'all, it's about that time. As I said, I'm hoping that everyone has had a lovely weekend. This weekend was Texas AuthorCon. I attended with my daughter, and it was very nice. Met some really wonderful people. Talked about writing, and it was just really a lot of fun. So maybe I'll be back again next year. Anybody else got anything coming up that is incredible and important? Because I have one more incredible important thing to say. Speaking of my daughter, that it is her birthday on the 30th. She'll be having a birthday. We'll be celebrating. So happy
Oh,
birthday,
happy
Stone.
birthday.
Happy
That's her
birthday in
birthday.
advance.
Yeah. All right. Anybody else? Anything else coming up? Important, interesting that you want to do a shout out to? Nothing. All right, you all. Well, thank you so much for being here this weekend. Have again, very productive next week. And I'll be back with more discussion for the Otherhood on what is it? Going to be into August. Please tell me we'll be into August. The
Yep.
next show will be August
Right.
3rd, guys.
Like,
In-
subscribe, share.
Yeah. Next week, next time we're here, we will be in August. All right, you all. See you then. Take care of yourselves, and good night.
Good night.
Good
Right.
night.